He scored one own goal, then lost his life days later. One mistake, one own goal, and just 10 days later, one of football's kindest players was dead. At just 27 years old, Andrés Escobar walked onto the pitch carrying the hopes of an entire nation. Days later, he was gone. But the greatest tragedy of his story wasn't the own goal. It was how the world chose to remember it. This is the heartbreaking, true story of a man who never deserved the ending he got. Before the tragedy, Andrés Escobar was one of Colombia's most respected footballers. Calm, intelligent, humble. While many defenders relied on aggression, Escobar relied on timing, composure, and respect. He almost never lost his temper, rarely argued with referees, and treated every opponent with dignity. It earned him a nickname that perfectly described the man he was, the gentleman of football. At the same time, Colombia was experiencing the greatest era in its football history. With stars like Carlos Valderrama, Freddy Rincon, and Faustino Asprilla, they weren't just winning, they were entertaining the world. Then came the match that changed everything. In 1993, Colombia traveled to Buenos Aires and humiliated Argentina 5-0 in a World Cup qualifier. The football world couldn't believe it. Suddenly, Colombia wasn't just expected to qualify for the 1994 FIFA World Cup. Many believed they could win it. Millions of Colombians dreamed of seeing their nation lift football's biggest trophy. But football has a cruel way of reminding us that dreams can disappear in an instant. After losing their opening match to Romania, Colombia faced the United States in a must-win game. The pressure was unimaginable. 35 minutes into the match, an American cross flew dangerously across the penalty area. Escobar reacted exactly as any defender would. He stretched to clear the ball. Instead, the ball glanced off his leg. It rolled into his own net. Silence. One touch, one moment, one mistake. The United States won 2-1, eliminating Colombia from the tournament. Around the world, people called it an unfortunate accident. Back home, disappointment turned into anger. But Andrés Escobar refused to blame anyone. Instead of hiding, he wrote a newspaper column filled with hope. He reminded Colombians that football should never be more important than life itself. He believed the team would recover. He believed better days were coming. He had no idea those words would become his farewell. Just days after returning home to Medellin, Escobar decided to go out with friends. He wanted life to move forward. In the early hours of July 2nd, 1994, an argument broke out in a parking lot. According to investigators, his own goal was mentioned during the confrontation. Moments later, Andrés Escobar was shot and killed. He was only 27 years old. The news stunned football. Fans across the world couldn't believe that a football match had become part of such a devastating tragedy. Thousands filled the streets for his funeral. Teammates cried. Supporters wept. An entire nation mourned a man who had represented them with honesty and grace. Today, Andrés Escobar's name is remembered around the world. Not because of one own goal, not because Colombia was eliminated from a World Cup, but because he showed courage when facing unimaginable criticism, kindness when surrounded by anger, and dignity when others chose hatred. His story reminds us that football is just a game. No trophy is worth a human life. No mistake should define a person forever. And no player should ever pay the ultimate price for 90 minutes on a football pitch. More than 30 years later, Andrés Escobar is still remembered, not for the goal that broke a nation's heart, but for the character that inspired the world. Subscribe to Football in Minutes for more incredible football stories.